Hot dog, we got folks. All right, UP, what's happening? Thanks, mofo. Glad you like it. She's all dusty and dirty. I haven't driven her since October. And she needs a new front tire, and that's a safety concern, so no more. I dealt with the studs. Nice. So she needs a new front tire, and then other than that, she should be ready to hit the road for the season. And so yeah, I'm gonna be popping in and out. Ma! Okay. So I'm gonna be in and out. So chat amongst yourselves, and going to continue to work on getting my bike cleaned up. We got the saddlebag done. It already shines, so yeah. And after we get her clean, then we're gonna lay down our wax for the year. So she's gonna get all buttered up for the season. We'll go for the money side first for you guys. Don't you got a lot of chrome? Let's see what's happening out in chat land. What's happening in the chat? Did you hit it with the air blower first? That's why I made sure to soak it down with the cleaner. So I wasn't grinding all that crap right into it. So yeah, get it moist, then gently wipe it off. I'm using shameless plug, Jay Leno brand quick detailer, and it smells good, it works good, but I call this Mr. Miyagi because it's wax on, wax off. It's not wax, but I mean, it leaves a film behind that I have to buff off of the bike. Then it looks great. I prefer Meguiar's quick detailer. That it's a one-shot deal, and once you wipe it clean, that's it. And then I like Meguiar's products anyway, but I mean, who doesn't like Jay? So I like it's okay. It's not Meguiar's. So God, she already looks better. So I'm gonna grab myself a pop. Be right back. The Unfinished Project brand. That's right. And you'd find it half used everywhere, right? Unfinished Project. Trademark. Trademark of Unfinished Project Inc. Unfinished Project Industries. An unfinished project. Ooh, keystones. Getting the stones. If it's going to be keystones, I'd rather have regular keystone, not the Keystone Light. It's too light of a beer, I find. But I like my beer Canadian. And my whiskey. Ice House, woo! Yep. Oh, we got boom boom stereo. Boom boom stereo in the Jeep. There is a silver GMT 400. It's probably a late 90s, mid 90s. It's a 1-ton dually extended cab, 2-wheel drive, and it's sitting right down into the weeds. I've only seen it twice, but it's right slammed to the weeds on semi-truck wheels and little bitty tires, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Backplates on drums. Pale ale is good, and it's kind of funny because when you first start drinking pale ale, everything that makes you go, ugh, oh my God, what is that, is now all the stuff that you look for, and you're like, yes, I can taste this is, yeah. How I became a reformed IPA drinker was my friend's like, drink 6. I go, what? He goes, I can hardly choke down one. He goes, drink 6. I'm buying. Hands me one. All right. After about 6 of them, he goes, you like that now? And yeah, actually. Oh, guys, black 67 Mustang. I know who that is. His name is Doug also. He also has a convertible Super Beetle. Voodoo's great. Well, you know, Damien, you'd be in hog heaven here in Michigan because we've got more breweries in Grand Rapids than any other. What are you bringing to No Name Nationals? I'm bringing my Dodge Ram and my little camper trailer, and my big old ass. That's what I'm bringing to NNN 25. Shop truck is not ready. And it would be an epic bike trip for certain, but then I would have to get a hotel. So at least if I bring my rig, I've got a place to stay when I get to No Name. So that's the only reason why. Because trust me, I've thought about riding my bike to No Name for certain. That'd be a cool ride. My dad owned that bike. He bought it used with like 6,700 miles on it. And my parents in '99 took a motorcycle trip from West Michigan, and they went across Michigan, across Canada into New York, and then north through Maine and everywhere, and then they took the ferry out to Nova Scotia, and they rode that bike, my mom's old Magna, to Nova Scotia and back. And I always promised myself that one day me and that machine are going to Nova Scotia, and if I can, I'm gonna go stay at the same place my parents stayed, if possible. It's a farm. But they tell you that on the label, you know? All right, so now I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna clean a little bit more, and I'll come right back and shoot the breeze with you some more. And as we sit here and shoot the breeze, the sun sets a little more, and now my bike's in the shade. So, yeah. We got motorcycles. Three Harleys and a sport bike, 2 dressers, 1 sporty, and the sport bike I think was a Honda, black and red. Everything else was black and chrome. A black and chrome Harley. Shocking, I know. All right, I'm gonna get some more work done. Be right back. Hear that? Burnout. I hope you could hear that. That was actually pretty good. In my area, I've noticed a new trend. Donuts in intersections. We went to the auto parts store. I had to put a starter into my truck, Black Betty, today, and we went into town to the local, our Napa distribution center, because that's just where you go on Sunday, because no other stores got it. They get it from there. So anyways, there was like 6 intersections where there's nothing but donuts, and I can only wonder if that was done in the same night, because that's a set of tires, but or a pair of tires. But yeah, the new thing is, used to be burnouts for distance. burnouts for distance was king. How long can you lay them? But now apparently donuts are the thing, because that's all I see now. So okay, whatever, new trends. We got bikes. What we got? Dresser Indian stereo, the whole gambit. It's in like charcoal and a dark silver. Sharp bike. Guy's got the big old ape hangers. That way his hands go numb even faster. Motorcycle, Honda Magna, or sorry, not Magna, Shadow. Honda Shadow, with the mid-2000s Honda Shadow. Quiet, I don't even think you guys heard it. All right, what's happening here in the chat? We are in Southwest Michigan. Lewis, what's happening? I have to fix the air hose. I'm tired of hearing it leak. Oh God, yes. It's gotten to the point now where it's, if I don't need it hooked up to the air, I just automatically unhook it, so I ain't got to listen to it sit there. And then again, until I get my new and improved air compressor, my whole shop runs on a little Stanley Boss Stitch pancake compressor. I port heads with it. I've painted cars with it. I do everything with it. That thing has been put through its paces. Hours of runtime. Continuous runtime. And I run my little air peg next to it in tandem for extra air storage, and then I really let her go. But yeah, running it all by itself. Paints cars just fine all by itself. Oh, and I got a little air dryer for it too. So yeah. But yeah, I definitely well, we were going to I was supposed to get a new air compressor for the Wolverine garage this year, but then our bathroom needed our shower needed to be redone. So she goes, we got to get a shower. That means I can't get you the air compressor you want. And I said, I'm fine with what I've got. It's not like I don't have anything. So yeah, I can wait for an air compressor. When I sanded, before it got better when I put the secondary tank on, but when we painted Lady Dougster's Super Beetle, When just running the sander, I was really tattling on that thing. Okay, see if the chat has gone. There we go. Ground the crimp off, dry rock crack right to the connector. Cutting the rot, installing a hose clamp. Yeah. So I had to drop $400 on my Dodge. The battery needed to be replaced. It was leaking so bad out of its terminals that it would just corrode up the terminals. So finally, my truck wouldn't start. I just replaced the battery, and then ended up having to put a starter into it. And yeah, that actually wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be a nightmare because of my headers, and nope, it didn't matter at all. Tight, you got to figure out a way to get around it, but once you figure out, like, basically you got to hug the header to put the starter in. So I hugged my truck today. What did you guys do? And I'm loving up on my bike. Should have videoed it. Yeah, I was not in a very good mood yesterday. Because I was at it died, of all places to die, it died at the Wolverine Satellite Garage, where there's a hoist, right? Haha. So Lady Dougster comes and gets me, and I get parts. Well, a friend of mine, his son cracked up his third gen Ram, early third gen Ram, and he saved the starter off of it. And he goes, here's a starter. That'll come in handy someday for you. Save you a couple $100. So hell yeah, I squirreled that baby away. So after we replaced the battery in the truck and still no crank, then, and it didn't load test very well at the auto parts store. Yes, I had it tested. It wouldn't even load test. So the battery was done, thank God. That was $200, over $200. So got the new battery, truck still no crank, pulled the starter out, and then had Lady Dougster, while we got the battery, came here. I grabbed that extra starter and go back to the satellite garage. It took me, by the time I get the failed starter out, oh, my starter's a direct drive. This one is a mini starter style. It looks like a regular Chrysler mini starter with no nose cone on it. So, well, and the terminals were wrong and everything. So, okay, well, so much for that idea. So, had to replace the starter, and that was a couple $100. But hey, now she cranks up right now. So, oh, what's that? Oh, fire department. We got a volunteer fire department, and he was just saying hey to one of his other volunteers. We got a whole bunch of them on this street. So all of a sudden, woo, 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 there they all go, going down to the fire barn, which is to my left. And then later, if they're going north, you'll see the fire wagon. And I'm close enough where I can hear the noon whistle, which goes off at 1 o'clock. But yeah, close enough to hear the noon whistle from the fire barn. Yeah, I was not in a very good mood yesterday. Otherwise I would have. Oh, we got motorcycles. What do we got? A black and chrome Heritage Harley. Full dresser, 2 up. You know, Clark and Bev out for a ride on Sunday. Beautiful day for a ride. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. One of those Jeep Comanches just went by, burgundy, 4-door. Good looking machine. Had very few ducks on the windshield. He must have just bought it. I'm surprised somebody doesn't have like the big 6-inch or 8-inch rubber ducky as a hood ornament on their Jeep. How come nobody has done that yet? I had a canoe that I called the Rubber Ducky, and I did actually find a big rubber ducky to glue to the nose of it, and I ended up never doing it. I ended up, I think I sold it to sold it or gave it to my brother-in-law. It was an actual Old Town canoe. Nice one. All right, I'm gonna go back to see what. All right, I'm gonna head back to wiping down more of the motorcycle. I shall return. Douglas MacArthur. No, Dougster. A Trike, 2 Sportsters, and a Dyna.
Yo.
Excuse me. Side by side. runs. Nice ride, guys. Nice ride. His dad has a black 69 Chevelle that is really nice. And it only goes out on nice days. Like I don't think he's driven it yet. And it's been nice. So it is definitely my neighbor's baby. Oh, she's already looking so much better. Greetings from Poland. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ZBI77 and Oleg. Hola. Yeah, just giving the old girl a little bit of a wash. It's the first time she's been outside since last October, so it's time for a cleanup, and then once she's all shiny, then I want to work on her more. So there's method to my madness. I have to take care of such equipment, absolutely. And maintenance is one of the biggest things for that bike. They're good for... Hey, thanks, Kev. Check it out. Yep, first time she's been out since October. Got a few things I need to take care of. It needs a front tire. No ride until front tire. And unfortunately, I had my tire fund got put into Betty to get my daily driver going. So, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay, it was his and her couple. He's riding like a, I think that was a Victory Jackpot with open mufflers. That's what you heard. And she was on something small, like a Rebel 250. A little motorcycle. All right, I gotta go back and I'm gonna finish wiping down the bike, and then I'm gonna go get a dry microfiber, and then I gotta buff the whole bike. So I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, the stuff I'm using, it's not like the quick detailer like from McGuire's, where you just, as long as you got your wax up, she will it just put it on and wipe it off. I don't soap and water wash my bikes. This stuff, it works great and it smells good. The only problem is that it leaves behind a haze, so I gotta buff the whole bike out. No big deal, just an extra step, that's all. Ooh, and I'm out of pop. So I'll get a pop, and then I'm gonna go finish the bike and then buff it. Check that out. I was just talking about the neighbor Chevelle. Guess what just drove by? Yep, first time I've seen her out this season. It's a beautiful car. How do you go wrong with a triple black Chevelle? Exactly. I think it's a big block car too. Nothing too radical. She's got a nice throaty rumble to it, and he never harps on it. So it's definitely his baby. Time to buff. Yeah, smell is really good. I really like McGuire's smell though. That's the wax side I'm going to be using. Yeah, we're going to be waxing her up. So she's going to get extra buttered today. She looks better after the buff, doesn't she? Yeah, they like the upright. They like the vertical lives, Ari. And welcome, Ari. Oh. Hey, thanks. Yeah, I get her all buttered up and looking sharp, and that way I actually want to work on it more when it catches my eye. She's like, hi, and I'm like, hello back. Or as the Englishman would say, hello. Dyna be great for you, Ari. Man, you think that Yoda gets good mileage? That Dyna will, but I don't know, man. It's where you live. Too many people. Not enough safety. I mean, it'd be different if you, like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of folks. I don't know if I'd be comfortable with that kind of level of traffic. We got a bike coming. What is it? What is it? One Sportster. Two Sportsters. One was black and orange, and the other one was black and chrome. Yeah. So that's my only qualm. Otherwise, I'm like, yeah, get a bike, Ari. You'll love it. Love it. Good mileage, too. My lady had, before she had her, it's right over my shoulder, that thing, that gray thing, that's my lady's 95 Triumph 900 triple. And that's quite the bike. She had a Honda Shadow VT750, like an 84. And we got, there's your Dyna. That Dyna was burgundy and cream, riding two up, and it had a big, tall, padded sissy bar on the back of it. Antique death trap of a bike. I recommend a inline 4-cylinder Indian. Those are cool. They run like little tractors. They run a Harley Davidson. That's what went by Harley. That is a Honda Valkyrie. That big chrome thing right there, that's the cylinder head. It is a flat 6 engine, so the pistons run left to right. It's not a V engine, it's opposed. It's called a boxer engine because of how the connecting rods go around the crank, like a boxer. And this thing is like 95 horsepower and a boatload of torque. And it's fun because I can take on bone stock Harleys of its era. Yes. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, you want some? No. Bye-bye. She's fast. But the bike that's faster is a Triumph Rocket 3, which is a 3-cylinder engine, inline upright, and it's 2.4 liters. How many cylinders does it have? 6. 6 cylinders, 6 carburetors. Yes. And you can't go wrong with Honda quality. What will kill a Honda? Lack of maintenance. And actually, she'll resist a little lack of maintenance. But full blatant lack of maintenance, that'll kill a Honda. As long as you can keep up with it, they're almost immortal. I mean, it's really sad when a guy can go out and find a 75 Goldwing that's been parked in the back of some guy's shed, pull it out, clean the carbs, clean the brakes, clean the brake system, get that all working, put new tires on, and then ride. And one guy pulled one out of the cobwebs, got it up and going, and he drove it 1,000 miles. Hondas are, as long as they aren't, even if they are locked up, you might, if you get them freed up, they're amazing. Oh, that's 1520 cc's. And then the next generation is an 1800 cc engine with fuel injection. And oh, very cool. It is a lot of fun. This bike is great. It gets pretty good mileage. Oh, Honda 250 two-strokes. Oh yeah, the gnarly ones are the 500s. Those things are quite the bikes. If you can get them started. KZ400 is a great little bike. A great little bike. It's not, you know, you're really spinning it hard to get her to do 70. You know what, man? Get another Yoda. Those things are great. A little bit of maintenance goes a long way on a Yoda. Yeah, I got nothing but good things to say about Toyota. Another thing that is, oh, I like two-strokes. Oh, yes, I like two-strokes. I'm a big fan of two-stroke road bikes. So like the RD 350, which they call the giant killer, because you could have like a CB750 of the same year and a 4-cylinder CB750, and then have a guy of equal weight on a RD 350. That little thing that's a little more than half its displacement of the 750 will eat the 750. It is nothing but power. So the RD 350, and then that later engine just came, because it started as the R5 and then it worked its way up. R5 didn't have reed valves, and then after R5 they went into the RD series, and then the RD series got reed valves but no expansion chambers, and then they kept taking it forward and taking it forward. So it started in the late 60s, early 70s, and they just kept improving upon it. And then they're moving their way up the food chain with the two-stroke RD 350, and it's getting more and more and more powerful. In the 80s, they started the RZ 350, and that had expansion chambers and dual ports, and it was a absolute beast of a road bike. Still only 350 cc's. Then, after the RZ 350 road bike, they took that same RD 350 engine and they put it in the legendary Yamaha Banshee that everybody talks about. That's an off-road guy. Oh man, Banshee, 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 power, 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 power. Yes, it's that same blessed engine. So guys take those things and build them to extreme levels of horsepower. I've seen RD 350s that are absolute monsters for the little thing that they are. Next up on the two-stroke deal is the Kawasaki 3-cylinders of the 70s. You had the S1, S2, H1, H2. You had the Mach 3s, and so there was a 250, there was a 350, there was a 400 or 450. There, no, 350, 550, no, 350, 500, 750, all triples. And you could order like an H2 750 new, and then you could get it in at a certain performance level, well, at stock. Well, there at the dealer, they had Demco performance parts, which was aftermarket fork, aftermarket swing arm, high compression heads, carburetor kit, so on and so forth. So right off the factory floor in the early 70s, you could order that bike at 120, I mean, top of the line, every option. That bike came at 120 horsepower, and bone stock ones, not ones that are turned up with those performance parts. They'll carry the front tire in third gear and then gently set down the front tire in third as you're accelerating. A guy I know who tunes them, his name's Kev, he says if it doesn't hoist the front tire in first and second, something's wrong. It has to wheelie in first and second. All right, have fun, Unfinished. Have I heard about Stark? No, never heard about Stark VARG. RD350's too old. Yeah, that's what I'm into, though, is that old stuff. I like that old stuff. Anything two-stroke's cool. Oh, 80 horsepower eater bike. Those are weird going by. I've seen them at motorcycle shows, and they go by, and it's just, they just go by. The only thing you hear is like the chain, if they're chain driven, and it's kind of weird. You know, you expect something, but I'll have to check it out. Stark VARG. Okay, I'll check it out sometime. Okay, I'm gonna go back and wipe down the left side of the bike. Yeah. Yeah, I like to hear a little something. Really cool motorcycle, early 90s BMW convertible in a light blue. There's a lake a little bit north of me, and it's a popular cruise because this road takes you right past the lake, and you see a lot of vehicles cruising. It's really cool to see some of the locals bring out their toys. Well, not riding yet because it still needs a tire, but safety first. Yeah, I got it going the middle of last season, and finally got her buttoned up and running again. And I'm like, it needs a tire. I'll just ride this season out. But no ride until new tire. No ride until new tire. Okay, by Freenan. Everyone follow by Freenan. Yeah, she looks all right. Looks a lot better than she did, covered in dust and everything. Had to put a battery in it a little while ago. I got 13 years out of the interstate battery that was in it, so yeah. Hey, now that she's clean, oh, it's in it. I'm gonna crank up the bike. You can hear it. It's whisper quiet. You'll hear it run, but it's not very loud. So yeah, we'll make this thing run. I haven't fired it up in weeks, month. So she may take a minute to get lit up. Up, raising an RPM. She's filling her float bowls. They were a little empty. You hear her cheer up. Hear it? She's got 6 of them to fill, you know. Yeah, she's happy now. 2 Harleys went by. Probably couldn't hear it over my bike. All carbureted Hondas are the same. They're cold-blooded. Until you get them warm, then they're great for the rest of the day. But usually the first start of the day with a Honda carbureted is the worst one. I like to run her at half choke a little bit. That way it isn't sitting there running at such a high RPM. Hello from France. I am half French. My double great-grandfather, double great? Yes. My double great-grandfather marched to Moscow with Napoleon. He was a lieutenant. So he's buried here in Michigan, but his headstone actually says, "March to Moscow with Napoleon." It's cool. All right, I'm gonna kick her off a choke. She has no heat in her. Actually, she's not ready to be taken off of the choke. Here, lug down. Six cylinders, yes. Absolutely 6 cylinders. Yeah, she's cold. Not that I'm going to be taking her for a ride, but I might as well have her come under heat, and at least when she comes under heat, if there's any moisture in the block, she'll burn that moisture off. I haven't run it in over a month. So yeah, it'd be nice to bring her under heat. Besides, I can talk to you guys. She's got like 44,000 miles on her. My father bought it used with like less than 7,000 miles on it. And so between him and I, we put the majority of the miles on this bike. This is my daily driver. In the summer when the weather's nice, that is what I take to work. Every day. The only time I drive my pickup is when it's going to rain. I don't like riding in the rain. Oh, you can ride around the raindrops. No, I tried. You can't. Okay, I'm going to get myself a fresh pop. Be right back. You know what? We're gonna have beer instead. That's good. Oh my. Do 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 do. Do do do. Do do do. Well, beautiful day here in Michigan, southwest Michigan to be exact. If you look at Michigan, and actually, I am here in southwest Michigan. Lake Michigan is straight west of me by half an hour. I'm alive! That's right! Cleaning the bike up. I already got her cleaned, and I decided to light it up for everyone and let her chooch. This buff is the Honda Valkyrie. The myth. It is not a mythical creature. It exists. I don't know, I thought a BMW and a Yamaha R1 1000. That's a fast bike. See if we got some heat in her. She's warm to the touch, not hot. I'm gonna get her under operating temperature Once we hear the fans kick on, she's good and warm. I put a gallon or two of fuel in it. She was running real low on fuel. Yes, Neverboard, it's running. It's not electric. It is not electric. And as a matter of fact, I've modified the exhaust to make it louder. And it runs this quiet. There's a thing that's called the 3 little pigs, and then there's interchangeable tips on the pipes. And if you pull those off, there's these 3 little tubes, and they recess into it. What I ended up doing was going in and taking those tubes completely out, and it did change the tone of the bike. It's a little throatier now, but still nice and quiet. I've got only a couple speed parts for the bike. I got a okay, let me check, see if she's hot enough. I'll take her off the choke. And that is idle. She's been a great bike. I finally learned how to drive the bike like it wants to be driven, and because of it, it rewarded me with mileage. Give us a few revs. I will here in a minute. I want her to warm up just a touch more, and then I'll make her bark. Just want her to get nice and warm, that's all. I promise, we'll make her bark. So this bike has a boatload of torque. So much torque, in fact, that I can be cruising, and it's got low gearing. So I can be cruising in 5th gear, and I can leave it in 5th, and I can slow down at 35 and then feed on the throttle oh so gently, and she'll go right back up to 55, 60, however fast I want to go. She'll do it. And I never realized that it works so hard doing that I paid mileage for it. The bike usually always got... Hi, Anthony. I'm in Michigan, Southwest Michigan. I'm halfway between Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo, if you've ever heard of those two places. And so it actually took more fuel for it to lug like that. So now I don't lug it anymore. And I picked up, no joke, 4 miles per gallon doing that. I went from 33, it always got 33, and this bike didn't care. I could run premium in it. I could run mid-grade in it. I could run regular in it. It got the same mileage. So now, why pay more? I used to run premium in it all the time. Excuse me. Now I just run regular. And, but yeah, now it gets like 37, 38. I got 39 on a long trip. But that's pretty impressive. Black and Chrome Harley Trike just went by, riding 2 up. And their helmets match the bike. Everyone's got a Black and Chrome Harley, it seems like. Alright. I think she's warm. Neverboard, these ones are for you, my guy. Hoo-bah! Hoo-bah! Yeah, she's definitely the bike for me. She's got like 44,000 miles. They're good for like 250,000 miles before the engine needs to be fully rebuilt. And I stay up on my maintenance. I plan to ride this bike forever. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for I will be looking for a Trike conversion for this bike. And I need to get the Goldwing, because this essentially is a Goldwing, a Honda Goldwing without the Goldwing. It's a naked Goldwing, is what a Valkyrie is. And it's got a flat tappet cam in it, and it's got more power than the Goldwing does. But essentially it's a naked Goldwing. So I want to find the reverse parts for it so I can back it up. That'll be my first modification, because I know eventually I'm not going to be able to push this big behemoth back. She's like 650 pounds. And so I know I'm not going to be able to push her back. So I'm going to get the reverse option for it and put it on this bike. And then later I'm going to find the Trike conversion for it and then stash that in the garage. Because later when I can't ride 2 anymore, I'm going to ride 3. Be right back. Thermostat open. That's what that was, the thermostat open. You heard a change. The yeah. See, I'm listening to my bike. Because right then the fan went on. Well, now that she's nice and warm, guess I'll shut her down. Maybe give her a couple, maybe I'll twist her tail once or twice before we shut her down. What do you say? Okay, I will. Hoo-bah, hoo-bah! So, yeah, I got a right side fork seal leaking, and I'm gonna I need something thin and flexible, like a piece of plastic, and I need to slip it up underneath the fork tube and the fork seal, and I need to clean the dirt and everything from around that fork seal and see if I can't make that thing stop leaking. Then I'll just top off the oh yeah, only burned a quarter gallon that whole time. Absolutely. She's decent on fuel. It drives like a car. It really does drive like a car. It's great. You know, what I really like about my motorcycle is I can be having an absolute terrible day, and all of a sudden, hey, I rode my bike in. I get to ride my bike, and then things aren't so bad. Definitely two-wheel therapy for sure. Neighbors are home. Yeah, she's definitely good on fuel. My lady's, I was trying to say earlier, I got sidetracked. My lady had an 84 Honda VT 750, 750 Shadow. The bike had overdrive, and that bike got 55 miles to the gallon. That bike was insane in the mileage department. But it didn't have a reserve tank, it had a low fuel light. The guy you see, the POV videos, weaving in and out of traffic on the express. I never cared for that. I don't know why they drive like that. And they use the whole highway, shoulders and everything. And they're one of those guys that kill themselves 100 times in a mile. See, I'm the other way around. I mean, I sometimes will book it on the expressway, but most of the time I'm just rolling. Especially in my Ram, that thing gets better mileage if I keep it under 65. Shuts down 4 cylinders on the V8, so to save fuel, especially on my way home, I'll cruise like 64, and I stay on the right side. And I'm about the same speed as semi trucks, which is fine by me. I just stay out of the way. Or is that video you made earlier? I haven't seen it yet. I had to put a starter in a battery in my Ram yesterday. The battery was iffy, didn't load test very well, but it was corroding both the terminals from all the acid it was leaking from around the posts. So I finally just said, to heck with it, and swapped the battery. Like a charcoal gray C8 Corvette just went by. Lady Dougster really likes a C8 Corvette. She thinks they're cool. I call them a spaceship. So I say, a spaceship Corvette just went by. No, I think they're pretty cool. Really interesting to see how low the engine sits in the engine bay. You're not doing much on that thing topside. You're doing a lot of work from underneath. Hey, it's a PT Cruiser. It's actually in nice shape too. You don't see those hardly anymore. They used to be everywhere. Those and Plymouth, Dodge and Plymouth Neons, and the Breeze and the Cirrus. Remember all those cars? Gone. They are melted away here in Michigan. They are gone. They're all parked. Cool. Thanks, Frank. Talk to you later. Okay, so I guess, see what time it is. It's only 6 o'clock. Well, I think I'm going to go get the Can O wax. We're going to start putting some polish down on the old motorcycle. Today's wax is McGuire's Gold Class. Yes. First generation red convertible Mustang, or I'm sorry, Camaro just went by. Red car, tan interior. See what the chat's up to. What's up, Mean Street Mopar? Thanks for stopping by. Thought I'd have a beer, wax a bike, wash a bike, run a bike. I just ran it. She's still warm from running. Gave her a few hoobahs for everyone. Morning doves are at it. Sometimes we'll get competing morning doves. Hopefully you can hear the morning dove. And it's not morning like AM, it's morning like in morning. Four-door cab, short box, diesel Chevy with no box. Just bare frame rails. All right, I'm gonna grab myself another beer. All right. So I guess I'll grab the can and get the other side done. And then we can buff it all off and make her shine. Maybe we'll attack the chrome with some 4/0 steel wool. A black and chrome Harley dresser with no saddle trunk. And he was listening to Pantera. Had the real low wind, had the fairing and the real low windshield too. Just basically enough to keep the air from hitting you in the face. All right, back at it. Now we can let that haze up and we'll buff it. And oh man, wish we had some smell-o-vision. McGuire's wax. Good stuff. So let's see what's happening in the chat. Make it shine. That's right. This little bike of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. A really nice GMT 400. Very little rust. Usually by now, especially if they're extended cabs, like they're rusted up to the belt line trim. At least. If not, the box and the cab will settle in upon themselves. Looks like it has a broke frame, but it doesn't. At least not yet. Yeah, rust never sleeps in the great state of Michigan. Cheers, everyone. Does nothing special. What's going on? A black and chrome Harley Davidson went by. Hey, black and chrome, drive it home, right? Yeah, I know. Me detailing my bike ain't nearly as good as some little cute chick in a bikini. I know. Those ladies get paid well for doing that. I've seen them charge like 85 bucks for a bike wash. And then the guys just throw them a Hondo as a thanks. The ladies, now I am proud to say the ladies are sexy, but at least they do a good job. You get a good looking bike when you're done. So it's not like they're just like, you know, just all glam and no delivery. So yeah, at least they do a good job washing the bike. Oh, my hands smell like wax. Ah, it's so good. I'm telling you guys, stuff smells good. Oh, big old dually diesel Dodge. Just went by. Well, I'm sure she's all hazed up. Let's see the shine come out, shall we? Buffet time. What do you think? Yeah, I do. Start her up. All right. Yep, Dougster's getting busy. Yeah, we'll get her started up. She's a little quiet, but she runs really good. Ma! Ah, nice cold beer, nice warm day, beautiful day. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, all you mothers. We'll let her run a minute, and then I'll give her a few of the Watootsies. Hooba hooba! $1,520 cc of fury, 6 cylinders, 6 carburetors. Yeah. And it's funny to say, the back seat actually says Honda made in USA right on the back of the seat, because the only thing that's made in overseas on that whole bike is internal engine parts. Otherwise, everything was made right here in the USA. She was built in Marysville, Ohio. If you've been through Marysville, Ohio, you've seen the Honda plant, and that plant is huge. That's home of the Goldwing. That's where the Goldwings are built. El Senior 250s used to be built there long ago in the 70s, and for 6 months the 1980 CBX was built in Marysville. So if you have, so you can find 1980 CBXs that are made in USA. All right, how about a couple of hoobahs? When you hear me holding a steady RPM, that's what she sounds like when I'm going down the road. She usually runs about 3,200 RPM at highway speed in final drive. So here we go. She burbles like a V8 when you go down the road. When you're at cruising speed, that's what it makes you think of. It drones like a big V8. And my mom, my little mom, rode that bike, and she said that's what it's like. It's like driving an old school V8. My Aunt Bobby, who really isn't even my aunt, she's a really close friend. Her husband are my aunt and uncle. You know, they're honorary family, and my aunt Bobby needed a ride, and she couldn't drive my uncle. I'll drive the Chevelle. I can do it. And my Aunt Bobby still to this day says, and this is in the 70s, that my mom was following some slowpoke, and finally my mom had enough and finally had a chance to pass, and she downshifted and kicked that thing in the patoot, And my aunt, Bobby's like, my mom's got nerves of steel. My Aunt Bobby still talks about that today. I remember us following Uncle Jimmy home when he smoked the clutch in his Chevelle, and he drove it 30 miles with a totally smoked clutch. It was engaged and it wouldn't disengage, and he limped it all the way home. Yes, Honda did stop building the Valkyrie. Has come and gone over the years. Generation of the Valkyrie, and then they had the Valkyrie Rune, R-U-N-E, and either you love those bikes or you hate those bikes. There's no in between. I think they're rolling sculpture. And then after that, the Valkyrie name went away for a while, and then it come back, I want to say in the 2010s, and then it went away again. So yeah, they're kind of hit and miss on the Valkyrie, excuse me, name. But basically all a Valkyrie really is just a naked Goldwing. So, I mean, the only difference between this and a 1500 Goldwing is I don't have any of the Honda Bago, and I've got more performance factory. And like a, well, the Goldwing comes with 2 carburetors, dual carb setup, and then the Valkyrie has 6 carbs. And then the Goldwing has a different camshaft, and this has got a flat tappet in it. And so it's good for 95 horsepower versus the Goldwing's 88. Bike is a lot of fun. Oh, they are sharp. I love this bike. I love this bike ever since my dad brought it home when I was a teenager. Like, I was already out of school and they built this bike. Chris, welcome. Yeah, I just thought I'd do a live. I was gonna scrub up my bike anyway, so I'm like, why not bring somebody with me? It's a beautiful afternoon. Ended up having to put a new battery and a starter in my 07 Ram. We celebrated Mother's Day yesterday with my family, and I went down to, right down the road from where my parents live is where the Wolverine Satellite Garage is. So stopped in and talked to them, and my truck started slow, real slow, but started at my parents' house, and then didn't think anything of it. Thought maybe I was having battery issues. So I got to the Satellite Garage, talked to Dusty and Blair, and then Harley dressed her 2 up. Oh, that one's got a big old sissy bar on it that goes to a thin triangle, real long and thin, but it's probably 2 foot long. Looks comfortable. Ladies all laid back on it. And so go to leave, and she cranks up even slower, but started. And oh my goodness. He's a white with black top and red interior 1970 Roadrunner just went by. He's headed north to one of my neighbors up the street. I recognize the car. I think it's a 383 4-speed. What's up, Grease Spot? Yeah, every week they all have a get together. Oh, we reconnected. Every week the neighbors have a get together, and it's like a little car show in their side yard, and they all hang out for a while, and I see that white Roadrunner there a lot. It's a beautiful car, and of course I'm a Mopar guy too. Neighbor guy ended up selling his short box regular cab mid-90s Chevy truck. It was all jacked up, big beautiful mud truck, but you could tell she never seen the mud. She was well prettied up. Good looking truck for sure. Oh, a Indian bagger went by. I was hoping for more classic cars tonight. We got a bunch of guys that come out this way. There's one guy, he's got a bright orange street rod, and she sits so raked forward that the windshield is on a forward angle. It's got the square roof line on it, and she's all chopped and lowered and Z'd, and yeah, she looks cool. And then ever so often you'll see like a red Model A Roadster out and about. That's got a little flat head in it, and we get a lot of side-by-sides through here. In my county, you're allowed to drive dirt bikes and side-by-sides on the road, and boy, you should see the big old groups that come through here. There'll be 20, 25 at a time. They all got their own little chicken lights all over their side-by-sides, and each and every one of them's got a stereo, and you'll hear them go by, and one's listening to Disturbed, and one's listening to Hank Jr., and one's listening to Hank Snow, and yeah. What's up, Danster? Check it out. She's all polished up now. Threw a coat of wax on her, and we lit her up a couple times, and she got cleaned up and all spiffied up. She's not quite ready to ride. No ride till new tire. But yeah, I think my tire fund got burned up in fixing my truck, so I had to put a starter and a battery in it. Oh, so I was saying, it cranked up slow at Wolverine Satellite Garage, and then my buddy Dusty walks over. He goes, that didn't sound very good. I said, let's see if it restarts. And I switched it off, and that was it. Nothing. Nobody home. And so the battery was leaking real bad around the terminals. And I've had this truck since 21, like January of 21. A little black Pontiac Solstice just went by. Those are cool little cars, especially when you stuff an LS engine in them. Anyways, so first I thought it was a battery. I didn't like the looks of the battery anyway, so I changed the battery out. That was over 200 bucks. And no start. Pulled the starter off of it, and a friend of mine gave me a starter. His son cracked up his early 3rd gen Ram, so he saved the starter and gave it to me. There you go, that'll save you a couple $100. So yesterday I had Lady Dougster give me a ride to the house. When we got the battery, we come here and got the starter, and I go to change. I pull the bad starter out. They're not the same. The starter I need has a nose cone. This one doesn't have a nose cone. This one's set up like a Chrysler Mini starter. The one I have is a direct drive. Ooh, good call, Danster. Or Danster, do you do the Pontiac Trophy 4, which is half of the passenger side half of a 389? I think I'd rather have the OHC6. And if I had that in a Solstice, I would polish that tappet cover to where you need shades to look at it. Polish. Pick 'em up truck with a flatbed on it. That happens a lot around here. Truck boxes get so blessed rusty, they just rip them off and flatbed them. And I'll tell you what, there's a big separating line in flatbeds. Some of them are like, it's flatbed-ish. Then other ones are like, wow, you did a really nice job. Turbo EFI Trophy 4. You definitely have a lot of space to run turbo and plumbing and everything, because half of that engine bay will be open. So, yeah. Good luck finding a Trophy 4. I've never seen a Trophy 4. I've only heard of Trophy 4s. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the inline 6 would be just proper. Screw that. Put a 421 Super Duty in it. Tri-power, baby. Dual quads. Yeah. Oh, okay. That is a like mid 80s, like an 85 navy blue and silver Trans Am, and there is a guy that it's all custom airbrushed and custom painted. There's a guy around the corner from me that does that stuff, and that car, when I first visited him, we got bikes, black and chrome Harley and a pearl white Harley, both Dynas. And the guy around the corner, he does custom airbrushing and custom paint jobs, and he loves the clear coat. All of his paint jobs will have that real thick, lustrous candy shell look to them. They just shine. And he was doing that. Hey, what's happening, Lord? Is it Lord? Low. Sorry. What's up, Low? And yeah, that Trans Am that just went by has been painted by him. That was in the car, or in the shop, when I first met my neighbor. Really cool guy. Oh, we got a CJ5 Jeep in red with a black top. Thought for sure there'd be more stuff. A lot of bikes out today. So that's why I'm telling you, whatever. If it's a classic car, I'll tell you about it. If it's a somebody's shouting in the distance. Oh, kids are playing. Let me get myself something to drink. Be right back. Ooh. Ain't she pretty? Oh. Yes. A gorgeous day. Better now that the shade is covered up. When I first started, it was still in the full sun a little bit. So, heck yeah. Holy wow. We've hit past the 2-hour mark, everyone. Nice beds left. I'm telling you, my guy, if you can source rust-free truck beds, you got a place to buy. If you can buy them cheap, find a place to store them, you get them to me, and we, my friend, will make some money. Rust-free truck beds will sell like hotcakes. Yes, anything rust-free around here. Like, for instance, a good, like, 1970 Chevy pickup that has very little rust or rust-free will claim $20,000 here, and you'll have to pick which of these guys you want to take their money from. They'll be like, pick me, pick me, pick me. Here. I'll give you 25. I'll give you 25. So yeah, there's guys around here that make a good living dealing in rust-free truck parts. For a long time, this one place had a deal with a company that was taking new trucks and taking the original box off, and they were putting utility boxes on them. So not only were they rust free, they were 0 mile or very close to it. They had, 10 miles, 15 miles on them. And yeah, he was selling those and making, back then they were $500 a piece. And yeah, rust free. Yeah. Especially here in Michigan, everything rots to crap. It's kind of funny. You see guys around here, especially, they'll get rust-free pieces, and of course, you never can find it all in the same color. So they'll throw together a truck with whatever rust-free pieces they got, and then they've got a calico truck. It's got a blue box and a burgundy door and a brown cab and a orange hood, and it's got a green fender, and it's got a blue fender, and yeah, calico trucks. But they can be cool too. Lars, what's going on? Welcome. I seen an E-body put together that way in calico, just all rust-free parts, but just whatever. And that car actually looked cool. He's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna paint it." And I said, "Why?" I said, "Off the whole thing." And he goes, "What? It don't match." And I go, "So?" I said, "It looks cool." Because everything was straight and clean stuff. It was just different colors. Oh, my nephew was looking for a car, and I went last week, Monday, and I test drove a 11 Malibu. And had an exhaust leak at the flex pipe. Yeah, it's Johnny Cash. That's right. And it had an exhaust leak. It needed a wheel bearing. Decent car though. And took it for a little ride. 166,000. It needed a little bit of help. And my nephew ended up passing on it. Well, he isn't. I thought he was ready to buy a car, and he says he wants to wait. So, oh well. But the car was pretty nice. Had a little bit of rust in it. What do you expect for a 2011 here in Michigan? But it wasn't bad. The trunk was still fine. I got in and looked at the bottom of the spare tire well, and it wasn't all rotted out. So it's got some rust on the rocker and then up on the dog leg behind the rear passenger doors. It was an alright little car. They looked at me weird when I tasted the oil. What'd you do that for? Like, you can taste coolant if it's in the oil. Why would you want to taste coolant? See if there's coolant getting in it. Not supposed to be getting coolant in the basement. '88 Grand Prix and scrapped it. Years ago, someone I used to hang with, his lady had it's not the Aerostar. What was the next generation Ford van? Windstar. It was a Windstar van, burgundy, with a light gray interior. And she turns to me. She goes, "You know how to scrap cars, don't you, Doug?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I want to scrap my van. What do I need to do?" And I said, "Okay." Put it up on a trailer, jack it up, drain the engine oil, drain the transmission as much as you can, pull the gas tank out of it, and that way it doesn't have as little fluids in it as possible. Pull the tires, jack it up, or take your lug nuts off, except 2, and then leave it with its tires, and take it to the scrapyard, and you can have the guy pick it up. You can take your tires off, otherwise they'll charge you for leaving the tires on. So she goes, "Oh, okay." The next weekend I talked to her. What she had done is she went to the local farm store and she bought a jack, and then she bought a T-handle And then she put that in the back of her van and she drove it straight to the scrapyard and then pulled it up on the scales and then asked if they would lift up the vehicle so she could take the tires off of it. The guy that was working the counter gave her $500 for her trouble, and then she walked away. And okay, Jack lift it up, drive it to the scrapyard. And she lucked out because she got probably double what she would have gotten scrapped for it. '88 Grand Prix, that is the last of the big full-size rear-wheel drive Grand Prix, isn't it? It is. Or did they make front drive? Is that finally when they went front drive? One of the guys I went to high school with, oh, it was a front drive, yeah. I knew they made an '87 Grand Prix that was a full size. Yeah, front drive. Still a good looking car. Oh, dirt bike. There's a power line that runs next to my house. Hear them? Oh, they continued over. Got a 2-stroke dirt bike and then a 4-stroke quad. Oh. Someday, if I get a wild hair in my butt, I'll build myself a dune buggy. It's all sand out there, so I want to build like a buggy, take out back. I want to power it with an old 455 Tornado driveline in the back. Oh, we got cycles. What do we got? What do we got? One Sportster. Two Sportster. One was blue and one was black and chrome. Yeah, it's a totally different world down in North Carolina where vehicles don't get that rusty. And probably vehicles that guys would say too far gone. Here in Michigan, we're like, oh, that's beautiful, rust-free. Compared to the garbage we see. Really start to hate how cars have become disposable appliances. Everyone just said, screw it, we're going to get a new one. Yeah, 460 is a brute. 460 is a brute and dimensionally large. Over at the Wolverine or Satellite Garage, my friend Dusty, he's a big Ford guy. And I helped him tidy up the shop one day, and I moved a whole bunch of 460 cylinder heads. And I'm a big block Mopar guy, and 460 heads have got big block Mopar heads out cold. They are dimensionally larger. They're way more skookum. Those things gotta be 65, 70 pounds a piece. Oh, wow. A SL, what is it? It's late 60s, early 70s. They built them up to 1980. SEL, I think it's an SEL 500. It's a 2-door hardtop and convertible Mercedes-Benz. If you look up the movie American Gigolo, Richard Gere drives a black one in that movie. Same car. I worked on one of those. It's got a small cube V8 in it with a Bosch Jetronic fuel injection system on it. And it's got a big lollipop looking thing in the middle of the intake. It's got this big opening in the middle of the intake. And it's got this big spring-loaded lollipop thing. And I think that is its mass airflow sensor. And as the airflow goes through, that's what dictates lean to rich, I believe. I don't really know. But I messed with it a little bit. And ended up going, I'm not comfortable with this. Yeah, that one was a creamy white with a brown interior. I like Mercedes, especially diesels. The W123 chassis, which was made from like the late 70s all the way up to like 1984, is a long-living chassis. And then put that with the diesels that they ran at the time. And I can't remember the name, the engine model designation, but it is an inline 5 diesel with you find them in non-turbo and turbo. The turbo is worlds better, and they call that one the best engine ever built. Guys take those ones over a million miles all the time. Older Mercedes diesels are very tough. Hey, Perfect, what's happening? Yes. And as any Mercedes, it is expensive to fix when it breaks. That's the thing. I mean, very rarely did they fall down. The one Mercedes I worked on, the lady had filled it full of her husband drove it. It was her husband's car, and best experience of driving a Porsche Cayman for 700 kilometers. Hard to beat. Porsche makes a nice car. The lady, her husband passed, and she knew nothing about the car, and she was driving her husband's diesel Mercedes around, and she filled it full of premium because it's a Mercedes, and she didn't make it very far from the station when it got a sip of that fuel, and it took out the injection pump. We ended up having to change the injection pump, took the pump to the local rebuilder that dealt in semi-truck stuff, and he didn't want to work on that Mercedes pump. So I ended up having to go to the Mercedes dealer and buying a reman pump. That wasn't cheap, but that was the problem. So I put a new pump on, and that was the last issue we had with it. It ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. Great look. W123 is a great car, a roomy car. Older Mercedes in gas. It's not the W123. I think maybe it's a W123 chassis, but no, I think it's the chassis before. I'm not familiar with that designation, but they had one that was called simply the 6.2. I think it was a 6.2, Mercedes 6.2, and that was in reference to its 6.2 liter V8. Guys were actually taking these big 4-door Mercedes with the 6.2 liter V8, which was insane for German V8s, and guys were actually taking them to American drag strips and winning with them, with fine interior, and a big heavy car like that could still get out and hustle. Diesel up a new Cobra. Okay. Oh, XJ Jeep, all jacked up, lifted, big tires, got the roof rack, jerry cans, the death jack across the cowl, and yeah, fun toy. Somebody's out on the trail. Oh, 4x4 quad. Here he comes. It's a 4-stroke, 4-wheel drive quad, and she's not very happy with life right now. She's got bad rings, and she's huffing a pretty good amount of smoke whenever he gets on the throttle. She'll run forever. She'll just fall out plugs, but yeah, you call that one Old Smoky. A friend of mine had a Honda 3-wheeler. It was a 4-stroke, and the thing smoked everywhere. You knew where he was, just look for the blue cloud. And then all he did was made sure she was topped up on the oil, and away we went. Old Smoky. I don't know. Diesel up a Cobra. There was guys, I only remember seeing a few of them. A guy, Tim, he owned one. And then I remember seeing one for sale at the Chrysler dealer. But those diesel Jeep Liberties, they didn't make very many of them, but they did make them. And there's guys that I've heard of that take those diesel Jeep Liberties and just twist them up and make them little drag machines. Or they just take them and spool them right up and launch them at the drag strip. Which, who's gonna, a Jeep? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put some stuff away. I'll be right back. One of those handicap vans went through, the pop top and the big doors, like personal use handicap van. Custom vans, that's one thing you don't see anymore. Oh, absolutely. Nice cold beer. Yes, sir. I was hoping we'd see more classic cars today. Not really. Oh, my neighbor, my neighbor drives bright red vehicles. Everything he owns is bright red, including his truck. That's his color. His driveway it's too short for a full court basketball, but it's set up with 2 hoops and they all go out on a nice evening like tonight, and they'll sit in the driveway and shoot hoops. When shag carpeting went out, so did van customizing. Yeah, I'll agree, but you gotta admit, some custom boogie vans are pretty cool. And besides, we remember them. There was one guy in my area, he had this baby blue van, and it was a boogie van, and it had this really cool kind of Hawaiian themed theme to it. It had like surfboards and waves and tiki torches and so on and so forth on it, and surfboards, and it was externally, it was rust free and nice, but whoever owned it was a hard partying dude, and they just, all right, he didn't even stop to cross the street, he just went for it. The interior of it had a 340 in it too. It was a Dodge street van on the chrome slots, and ran great. But the interior in it was trashed. They just didn't care. Everything was just beat to crap. You could see where people had fun on the bed and barfed on the carpet and spilled, you know, bong got spilled, and it was cigarette burns, and things got cut up, and the bar that was in it was broke, and had a bulkhead with a stereo in it, and that was broke. Looked like somebody smashed it out, and yeah, I got partied too hard in it. Really too bad. Nice van. That was also 25 years ago. I bet somebody would have bought it. I hope somebody bought it and put a new interior in it. Yeah, I kind of miss the custom vans. With stickers like, "Don't laugh, your daughter's in here." Or, "Don't laugh, it's paid for." A friend of mine had a custom mini truck, and in the back of it he had a sign, like the tailgate swang out. Instead of it dropping normal, it was all upholstered on the inside of the box, and the tailgate swang out to the right. Oh, I'm sorry, to the left. And it had on the inside of the upholstered tailgate, it said "No fat chicks." And the ironic thing of all is that he dated one. Yeah, party vans got roof ladder racks. Okay, got ladder racks put on them. Okay, but especially for a long time when NASCAR was still hot, like everybody was into NASCAR, you were starting to see more and more school buses getting converted into NASCAR buses with big elaborate decks on the roof and all sorts of stuff. And then NASCAR fell out of favor, and everyone pushed their NASCAR buses out to the road, and nobody wanted them. And some of those NASCAR buses were set up pretty cool, and some of them were set up pretty sketchy. What's a lot of fun is down to the Kalamazoo Speedway. They do school bus races, and it's a 3/8 mile track, so it's just a donut that they race in, and they'll race school buses on that little itty bitty track, and that is just so much fun. You just laugh your ass off the whole time. Trailer races are pretty fun too, where you get like a tow behind RV, and then you have to gut it, so it's just the shell of the RV, and then basically it's last man standing. Used to be dozens of them. Memorial Day weekend, headed to Charlotte. Cool. Nice Lincoln. Like an MKZ or whatever. All black. Yeah, Memorial Day weekend's coming up. End of the month. Oh, the MKZ made a U-turn. That explains why. Like, why they slowing down. Now I know. Man, we finally mowed our lawn last week, and it was getting tall. It was the first mow of the year. Our front yard was like that tall. Felt good to finally get it all mowed up. The old, there she is. The old Husqvarna did great. Yeah, we've been here 6 years. We've been here 6 years, and that basically was our housewarming gift for my mother-in-law. And all I've had to do to it so far is general maintenance. Grease, oil changes, the like. One of the local first responders, it's got a Dodge Charger all blacked out. Looks pretty cool, 4-door Charger. Oh, our one of our local Mopar guys, everyone calls him Doc. He got himself a Hellcat, and he's been out tearing it up. I have yet to see it, but he just got it too. But yeah, he's the guy that hangs it all out. Oh yeah, tires are new, not for long. Doc hangs it all out. He's got a 70. Yeah, he's got he's got a sublime green 70 Roadrunner 6-pack car. That is cool. He's also got a Challenger TA, and then he has a 70. I think it's a 60, a yellow. I think he has a yellow 69 Roadrunner too. That one has the Roadrunner dust tail stripe that goes all the way down the car and ends into the scoop on the quarter panel. Yeah, Doc's got some neat stuff. And then besides all his sweet Mopars that he's got, he also is a big Kawasaki guy, and he's got all sorts of choice Kawasaki's from back in the 70s. He's got neat stuff. It's always cool going to Doc's place to hang out. Go to Doc's, bring a 6-pack on a Thirsty Thursday, hang out, and he'll start showing you stuff. It's way cool. He's like, oh, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Him and my uncle used to run together back in the heyday. They'd trade bikes. They'd go for a ride, get to their destination, and Doc say, want to trade? You ride mine, I ride yours? Sure, my uncle would say. They'd trade. And my uncle said that all the Doc's stuff was always stupid fast. And he's like, for the first 10 miles, you practically kill yourself because you don't know, you don't realize how quick the bike is. He says, then it's better. One particular road, my uncle said they were driving over, and he had gotten behind from Doc, and he twisted its tail in the road. It was really hilly, and he said that he was actually jumping it a little bit when he was crossing over the hills, trying to catch up to Doc. He goes, that was kind of interesting. I said, you don't want to wipe out Doc's bike. There's that stupid MKZ again. Now he's going back north. Apparently he's lost. Yeah, old Doc, he's everything of his is hot. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if that Hellcat of his hasn't been worked over. So it's making over what she already is throwing down. That's just how he rolls. Everything's fast. And if it's not fast, it soon will be fast. He's also the guy that it's for sale, but you better bring your money. But it's also usually the real deal. You know, he'll tell you it'll do this at the quarter mile, and it's got slips to prove it. Oh, we got motorcycles coming. Black and chrome dresser Harley. Black and chrome, our burgundy dresser Harley. Ooh, navy blue dresser Harley. Really deep dark blue, nice bike. Oh man, yeah, I don't even know what color Doc's Hell Kitty is. All I know is he's been out raising hell in it. I wouldn't be surprised if all the donuts I'm seeing around isn't him roasting tires off. We went up to get the starter. We went to the Napa DC, which is just a few minutes further than your normal Napa store, but on a Sunday if they don't have it, they got to order it. It's going to come from that DC anyway. So instead of picking it up on Tuesday, just go to the DC and pick it up today. So that's what we did. And we got started from the DC. And we went up this one road, and it's a long country drive, and eventually you start to come into the city. And there was like every intersection, there was a whole bunch of donuts in every intersection. And it used to be burnouts for distance were the thing. Everyone would just boil tire for as long as they can. Well, apparently now donuts are the thing. And you can tell that they're all going northbound because after all the donuts, you'll see them all headed north. And I told we drove our little 4-cylinder Toyota, and I'm like, do a donut. I'm not going to do that. I said, I don't think the car's got enough guts to do it anyway. No, we wouldn't beat on that thing like that. That car's been great. My lady picked up, she put new spark plugs in it, and the spark plugs that were in it were just whipped. And that thing picked up a mile per gallon just in spark plugs. They were, the electrode was like spooned out. It had burned so hot for so long. God, it's probably the original plugs. So it probably had 200,000 miles on a set of plugs. Poor thing. They were just whipped. And on cylinder 1 plug, the actual porcelain around the electrode on inside the plug was actually cracked. You could tell that they were white from heat. They definitely got their money's worth out of them. Also was offered same time that I test drove that 11 Malibu, I was offered a 2005 2-door Honda Civic in red. And the guy rubbed something with it on the driver's side, so the back half of the driver's doors caved in, and then the quarter panels caved in. Whatever it was white. You could see all the white streaks down the side of it. And no crank. Would roll over, or no start. It would roll over, but no start. They said I could probably get it for $500, but I don't know. Yeah, time to replace for sure. But yeah, I was really interested in the Honda. Be a cool little car for someone though. It had just enough rust to where I didn't want to mess with it. I mean, it was one of those cars at first glance you're like, wow, that's a good looking car. And then you get a closer look and you're like, oh wait, never mind. She's a little worse off than you thought. And inside the car, you could see that the guy used it like a storage unit. I think he had to move in a big hurry, and he stuffed that thing full of his stuff. And one of the things in the car that I recognized is a Australian didgeridoo, if you even know what one of those are. It's a big hollow wooden tube. You can see through it, you know, and then they make noises with it. And I recognized it. I look and I go, that's a didgeridoo. And I had to explain to the people what it was. It almost made you think of an oboe, but no oboe is going to be crooked and wavy. So last night, my truck was down. I put a new starter in it earlier this afternoon. And so my friend, we got the old starter out so I could exchange for the new one. And my friend gave me a ride home. And I'm riding in his truck, and it's a 2-wheel drive pickup with street tires on it. And the thing growls like it's got mud tires. I said, do you got a bad wheel bearing? And he goes, yeah, so-and-so thinks it's on the rear. And I said, I think it's on the rear. And then he speeds up and slows down, and you hear row, 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 row. And then he's like, I can't hear anything. He's driving. And I said, turn the radio off. I go, can you hear it? He goes, no, I can't hardly hear it. And I said, well, here, pull into the bar. We would come up to this bar, pull into the bar, let's trade. I'll drive, you listen. Because you can tell way better in the passenger seat. And so I'm driving the rest of the way home, getting into it, getting out of it, getting into it, getting out of it. And he finally shoves his head out the passenger window like a dog, and he's listening. And because I thought it was the right rear, I thought it was like an axle bearing bad. This is like an 09 Ford F-150, a car hauler with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars on it. That's interesting. You don't normally, this isn't truck route. Okay, that's interesting. Somebody wasn't supposed to come through here with a rig. I think it's because the power lines are too low. I'm glad he didn't clip any of them. Finally, he deciphered that the noise was coming from the passenger front. That truck's got like 171,000 on it. So, and he thinks it's the original bearing. So if she's finally starting to talk to you at almost 300K, I think he got his money's worth out of that baby. What do you think? What a beautiful night. Ooh. Sun's just right getting in my eyes. Woof. Oh man, that sun's something else. Let's see if we can't move everything over a little bit. There we go. Oh, that's a much better. We had our rain last week. It rained buckets last week. So yeah, it's nice to have some nice weather for a change, especially on a nice Mother's Day like today. Moms need a good day. Oh, we got a motorcycle coming. What is it? Let's find out. Honda Shadow 750. You can tell by the way they run. They got a Harley-esque sound to them, but they don't sound like Harley. It's a V-twin though. Wendy, how are you? Nice to see you. Welcome to my live stream. Oh, we'll get... Yes. That's what we need to look at. It's my polished up motorcycle. Yep, she's ready for the season. And the nice thing is now that the wax is up on the Valkyrie, that when I use the quick detailer again, it'll actually clean better. Because you can tell if it starts to streak and everything, that's a sure sign that it's time for you to put down another wax coat on it. Ooh, Bagger Harley, custom painted in like a real coppery color. Really nice, really nice. Mr. and Mrs. riding 2 up on it too. Nice, new blinds, nice. That actually can be a job, depending on what it is. Sometimes putting in new blinds is easy. Other times you're like, oh, I hate these blessed things. Helped a friend put in one of those vertical blinds, like for a sliding door. And I don't even think they had it 2 months. And then the cat kept climbing up them and catastrophically broke them. Yeah, that was real happy. They called me, what do we do? And I'm like, replace them? we're not going to do that. That was this much money. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? And we ended up just putting up a regular curtain. And the cat still busted that thing up. But no, we can't declaw the cat. All right, so what? New window blinds. Some of them are cool. These one people I know, they have window blinds and they're all wood. And they're Venetians, but they're made of wood and they're all thick and stuff. And they're so dang cool. And other people I know, they've got automatic blinds. Like you can set your blinds to a timer and then they'll open and shut at certain times, or like just flip open automatically, or they'll raise themselves. And I'm like, ooh, fancy. For the kitchen window, that'll be fun. It's 72 inches wide. Holy wow. That is a big blind. Wow. Yeah, that one's going to have like 3 supports at least in it. Probably 4 besides the ends. That is a lot of blind. Did you have to have it custom made, Wendy? Sounds like you did at 72 inches. I bet that wasn't cheap. We put new blinds in. I had an apartment. We'd put new blinds in, and my cat would always like to sit in the window, and he'd just keep pushing his way through the Venetian blind, and eventually the little short side from where the strings are to the end, they'd be all busted out from him coming in and out from sunning himself in the window. Of course, the window faced west. No, Lowe's has them. I'm surprised. Because 72 inches almost would seem like a custom order length. That's crazy. Learn something new every day. I kind of miss big box hardware stores are kind of cool, but at the same note, I miss down home hardware stores. You know, I went up, my friend, I went and helped him when he first bought his house, and he wanted to reseed some of the spots in his yard, and he goes, "There's a little hardware store here in town." And we went to, you know, mom and pop's hardware store. You know, started, and I think Jesus still worked the receiving dock when the hardware store started. And the old guy behind the counter, he's like, "Oh, grass seed." Exactly. He goes, "Do you want blue or do you want this?" And he said, "Just whatever." He goes, "You're going to want this." And he gave us seed in a bag. And then the old man handed it to us. And he elaborated for like 10 minutes on what exactly to do to get the best results for that grass seed to grow. And it was like, awesome. Good for you, old guy. He knew exactly what he was talking about, too. And I kind of miss that. Not saying that you wouldn't get that kind of service at a big box hardware store, but you know what I mean. Just a little bit better, a little bit different. That's what the blinds look like, freaking cats. I know. It got to the point where I just finally, I replaced the blind, and then I would leave it open a little bit. And then, of course, you know, someone's like, "Why is that open?" And they'd shut it, and then the cat ruins it again. And I guess it's just meant to be. Okay, I'm going to go get myself something to drink. And then you get to look at the pretty shiny motorcycle. Be right back. I'm back. Did you miss me? I know you did. Yeah, exactly. A good quality hardware store. We had one down in the town south of me, and a Dollar General had moved in across the street, and they called it. They're like, "We're done. Now that they're here, we're done." And it wasn't but 4 years later, and they closed it up. And that was really sad because that place was neat. The old guy that ran that hardware store, his nickname was Gil. And old Gil got told by a doctor, he's like, the doctor said, "You're sick with whatever it is." Hey, thank you, Wendy. He says, "You're sick with this." And the doctor said, "It could kill you at any time. So, Gil, if you've got any living to do, I suggest you start living it." And I'll tell you what, old Gil did it in spades. Gil enjoyed big game hunting, and he went around the globe knocking down everything that he could. And it was all he wasn't the big money guys. The big money guys just pay out a whole F ton of money and go take tigers and elephants and giraffes and rhinos and all this other stuff like the Dangerous Seven and stuff. But what he did, because he didn't have the big money, so he actually would apply get put into a lottery for wildlife management hunts. And actually that's how he would get in to take crocodiles and alligators and all these amazing things. So over the years of Gil doing all this, he starts a wildlife museum inside his store. So half of it's a hardware store and the other half of it's his wildlife museum. He had a crocodile that was full taxidermy in there. He had 2 Cape Buffalo full taxidermy in there. He had elephant tusks that were mounted, and you could walk under. They used to sit together on beautiful marble pedestals, and they used to sit together, and you could walk under them like an arch. And he had an entire whale or elephant skull on display, and that thing was above my belt line when I stood next to it. It was just amazing. Their hardware store was coast to coast, got out by Ace and shut down. That's terrible. But I do like Ace Hardware. I always have liked Ace Hardware. I always have a good experience at Ace Hardware. That's about the closest thing I can describe to a down home hardware store is Ace. What else did he have in there? He had pinfire handheld lead propulsion devices that were revolvers, but they were pinfire. Instead of smacking a normal primer, they had a pin that come in from the top, and then the hammer would strike that to ignite the charge to propel the lead. And he had all sorts of neat stuff. He had Confederate bills. He sold a lot of stuff too. I bought a lot of silver coins from him over the years. I ended up buying a Coleman clothing iron from them. And then later coming back after Gil had passed it, his son went through him and his son and I went through his son and I ended up looking around and we found the pump that went to it too. And that was really cool. But yeah, old Gil had his wildlife museum on top of that. He had like a blunderbuss scatter gun, wink, like the 12 gauge variety, except this was muzzle loaded, and it was had a flint ignition on it. And Harley, black and chrome bagger. How many black and chrome baggers has this been? I'll bet you we've had a dozen, if not better, of black and chrome Harleys. Cheers, everyone. Big old 6-liter Junkyard D. Hey, check it out, Junkyard. She's all washed up. She's all waxed up. She's looking good. As a matter of fact, it's been a minute. How about we light her up again for everyone? Be right back. Yeah, I know, she's quiet. She's all right, though. It's happening in the chat. Woo-bah! Listen to that snap, crackle, and pop. See you, does. Thanks for coming out and hanging out. Marathon, yeah, ain't nothing else to do. Might as well hang out. Welcome back, UP. See how we're doing. Oh, we're still 44%. We're doing all right. All right, we're gonna give her a couple of hoobahs. That is my favoritist. Well, when the CBX is ready, that'll be my favorite motorcycle. This is my current favorite motorcycle till the CBX runs. That thing is going to be nuts. This is 95 horsepower at 6,500 RPM. Smoother than a new paved highway. Cooler than a 3-speed fan. Often imitated, never duplicated. I am the Dougster. She is smooth. I could totally balance a nickel on that. Totally. Do it now. She's that smooth. Yeah, that bike is absolutely great. Been just great. Takes exactly a gallon of oil to do an oil change. Ooh. Short box, regular cab Ford pickup in all black. Look nice. You don't see regular cab short boxes. Everyone's got to have 4-door cabs and long boxes and 40-acre fields to do U-turns. A guy I knew, he had a Chevy pickup 4-door cab with a long box, and good gravy, that was a lot of truck. Smooth as a Boston cream pie. Need to align the rear tire. This one needs a front tire. As a matter of fact, the front tire is done. Like, I've made the rule, no ride until new tire. But my tire fund it was $275 for a front tire. This bike's front tire is the size of most bikes' rear tire. but the tire's done. So no ride, and I'm sticking to that. But I had to put a starter and a battery in my daily driver, so I think my tire fund might have got burned up by that. Hopefully I can make it happen. Less than 40 bucks for a new blind for the kitchen. Not bad for 72 inches. That is not bad for 72 inches. Because I'll bet you if you had to have it custom made, it would not be $39.98. We got a lot of our bathroom remodel stuff from Menards, and we're spending a lot of it on that rebate with our rebate stuff, which I guess is all right. We got I got the shower valve installed. No, it would be a lot more. I'll bet it would be at least double. At least double. So I got the shower valve installed, and I say, well, let's see if we can. My lady goes, I'd like to do laundry. And the water shutoff that we put in shuts off all water to the master bathroom. And so we can't do laundry or flush the toilet when all the water's off. So, like, well, let's test and see if that shower valve has any leaks. And she goes, how do you know that it's not on? And I said, I don't know. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Well, guess what? It was on. I think like not even a gallon of water comes spewing out of it. But I'll tell you what, I was like, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Thank God she was downstairs, I was upstairs. Just a quick mop up, everything was fine. So it wasn't like, I'm like, it's on. But here's the cool thing. Put it all together first time, no leaks. Had to get creative because it had copper lines that went straight up into the old valve. Well, this one, the valves are on the side, so I ended up having to go get a double threaded male fitting, a 90, and then take the original copper fitting and put it on that. So I made it turn down, bolted everything in, and I put it right back into place where the original shower valve was, except ours is 6 inches taller, and it's going to be great. So yeah, it was weeping just a little bit at a fitting the other day, but I checked it today and it looks fine. So I'm happy. Not bad for one-time installation, and I'm not exactly a plumber. So that makes me happy. So I'm almost ready to start putting in the drywall and the paneling. Raw dog, what's happening? So I'm almost ready to put in the drywall and the paneling. And then we'll finally start to put the new shower enclosure in. I got to cut the hole for the drain and then plumb that in. But yeah, we're working slowly towards the new bathroom. Rather work on cars. I am not Bob Vila. Ooh. Motorcycle. And just think, in 24 hours, we'll be doing it all over again because I'm still going to do a live tomorrow. I just thought I'd come here and say, hey, what's going on? Let's clean a bike. I was going to do it anyway. Should uncover Lady Dougster's bike. That thing has had a rusty tank problem. Bike runs great, but they came with a coating on the inside of the tank when they were new, and it's flaked away. And then the tank rusts up something fierce. And I've rust busted it a whole bunch of times, and the rust just keeps, the big flaky rust just keeps coming back. And I hit it once with some evapor rust and let it soak. And I'm in my front yard, and I'm in Southwest Michigan. And I gave it evapor rust and really ate a lot of the stuff. That was last summer. So I'm going to bring the tank back out, or take the tank back in and put evapor rust in it again, give it a round, and oh, Wisconsin, nice. Land of beer, New Glarus beer, spotted cow, spotted cow. And then I've got some tank coat, Russia, welcome. What's up, Jude? And I'm going to seal the tank up, but I need to get the first step. They've got an etching, a degreaser and etcher. So I want to etch the tank before I put that coating in it, so it'll adhere better. So it's less likely to flake off. I'm doing all right here on a nice Sunday evening. Happy Mother's Day to all moms out there. Beautiful afternoon here in Southwest Michigan. Got my bike all cleaned up, washed, waxed, fired up. Yep. Other than she needs a tire, she's ready to go. I'm glad everyone was here to hang out for the evening. So yeah, hopefully we can get Lady Dougster's bike out. That bike needs a coolant change, it needs its brake fluid changed. And that's such a nice bike. I hate to see it just sit. So need to get it up and going. I found there's a tool for the Volkswagen we're going to need to get that actually looks pretty cool to use, but it's necessary for getting the brake drums off of that. No, I can't. I'm holding tight to my promise to myself, JYD, is no tire, no ride. Because the tire's really that bad. It's bald in the center. I shouldn't have rode the half of last season on it. I really shouldn't have rode on it, but I did. So that's why now it's like, nope, you don't have a tire for it, you're not riding it. Especially as easy as a tire change on the front is. The back tire on that bike, on the other hand, oh my God, what a process. I have to put the bike on a jack. Then I have to take the saddlebags off, including the rack, the tail section. I have a two-piece rear fender. The back section of the fender has to come off. Then I have to take the shocks off of the bike, and then I have to lower the bike down to the lowest point to get the rear axle high enough to where the center bolt will clear the mufflers. And then I can take the center bolt out and take the wheel off. And that's not so bad. It's usually reassembly that sucks on it. And so yeah, changing tires on the back of the Valkyrie is not fun at all. No ride till I get a tire. And then me dumping all the money in the truck, I might have spent what I squirreled away for a tire. So it may be another few weeks before I can get a tire. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna call the dealer just to see what their prices are, but I looked it up on the Jungle site. Ooh, gonna get in the shower. All right. When Wendy comes back, her hair's gonna smell all nice. There used to be a shampoo called Gee, Your Hair Smells Terrific. I remember it. And yes, it did smell terrific. Sun's peeking through the tree again. Gotta get moved. There you go. There you go. Wendy, be sure to wash behind your ears. Oh, I have an 07 Dodge Hemi Ram has a daily driver, and the starter went out and the battery went out. So I dropped $400 in 2 days on starter and battery. And then I also have a, well, it'll be titled as a 92 Dodge D150 that I've named Shop Truck, and it's getting a at its current state, it's going to get a 413 low compression V8 thrown at it, tunnel ram, aluminum heads. It should be a lot of fun. And then Lady Dougster has the Triumph motorcycle there under the tarp. We have over to my right, or my left, sorry, we have a 73 Super Beetle. That's Lady Dougster's. And then that's all we have for classic rides. And I've got a 72 CB750 road bike and a 79 Honda CBX besides the Valkyrie. And that very much covers the fleet. Holy wow. That sun's something else, y'all. I really like my daily driver Dodge. It's got a lot of power. It's got long tube headers, cold air intake. She gets up and moves. And it actually turns pretty decent mileage when you drive it right. Yeah, I didn't realize that the starter was so sad in that truck. It turned a little slow, but it always started. And then I put the new starter on today and hit the key and whoop, whoop. Before it was like, So, yeah. The last time she started, it started so slow it barely started the truck. And then my friend walked over and he goes, that didn't sound very good. I said, I wonder if it'll do it again. Because we were just going to laugh at it. So I turned the truck off and I hit the key again. Nobody was home. She had started her last start. That sun's intense. Ain't no way to get away from it either. Shoo! We might have to move into the Wolverine garage. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna leave you here a minute, and I'm gonna put the bike away, put the tractor away, then I'll come back and grab you. So you're gonna see me work a minute. All right. Be right back. All right, come with me. All right, now we're back in my garage. One more minute. All right. Now we're in the Wolverine garage. Yeah, it feels good to get the bike, get something done, something achieved for the day. Well, besides putting the starter in. Yeah, she lit right off. I was happy, especially when I put a new battery in it and tried the key and nobody was home. And I'm like, really? So I take it to the auto parts store, throw it up on the counter. She doesn't look happy. Like both the terminals were getting all that blue corrosion on them, and threw it up on the counter. And I said, hey, you throw a tester on this thing. And he pulls this little tester out, and it looks like an engine scan tool with two leads on it. He hooks that little dinky thing up, and he says, nope, well, it tests fine. I said, can you hit it with a load tester? And he goes, oh, the load tester's over here. And he kind of smiles and goes, but you already knew that. And he hit it with the load tester, and it was one of those electronical ones, and it wouldn't even load test at all. So I just said, to heck with it, and bought a brand new battery and put that in the truck. Still no dice. And then, yeah, starter. It wasn't too bad to change, so not complaining at all. Did it. I was at my friend's shop where he has an above ground hoist. He has a regular hoist, and I was all by myself, and I tried to push the truck, and I got it up there. I pushed it probably 12 feet from the side of the driveway up into the uprights of the hoist, but I was sideways in the bay, and I had a hell of a time all by myself trying to get it jockeyed into position. So finally I ended up pushing it completely off of the hoist altogether, and then just jacked it up and slid underneath it and got it done. And it wasn't great. Some of those bolts were on tight as frig, but other than that, it wasn't that bad. Oh, and I couldn't get much of a swing. Each time I'd use the ratchet, it was only like 2 clicks. So that sucked too. So everything was a slow boat to China to get out. But other than that, smooth sailing through calm seas. I was happy to say there wasn't a lot of green death on everything, other than on the battery terminals. Oh, and I gotta replace the actual factory battery lead. I've got one of the old lead style horseshoe ones for temporary, but I'll actually get the proper terminal for it. Take care of my empty. Be right back. Is there a mini starter available for big block Mopar? Absolutely, Junkyard. The starter hasn't changed. So any starter for inline six, 318s, the small blocks, big blocks, it all is the same. You can bolt up an old direct drive starter, pre mini starter, all the way up to the smallest starter that you can find is for a V6. Dimensionally smallest mini starter is for a V6 Dakota, and that will spin over because it's gear reduction mini starter. It'll spin over a big block, no problem. As a matter of fact, I've got a mini starter for my Mopar. It's on that shelf. It goes next to the other starter. The one that was my friend was nice enough to give me a starter. His son racked up his early, like 03, 04 Dodge Ram. And he saved what he could off of it. And he goes, here, you need this. It's a starter. I'll save you a couple $100 down the road. And I'm like, hell yeah. So I went to go, when I realized it was the starter, not the battery. So we went to the house here, went over there, grabbed it, brought it there, and I'm like, yes, thanks, Kurt. Kurt did me a solid, right? Wrong. It was the wrong starter. The one that Kurt had given me was a mini starter with no nose cone on it, which is the weirdest looking starter I've ever seen in the mini starter configuration. But my starter that's on Black Betty is a direct drive. It's not a mini starter, it's a direct drive. And with a nose cone. And then the way that the terminals connected to it, everything was wrong. It would bolt into place, but it wasn't the right one, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah, I mean, even the starter on this one, I think I could take these starters and bolt them on big block Mopar, or bolt them on older Mopar. There ain't much difference to them. And the actual starter motor on that Hemi is only that big. And yeah, that new starter spins her fast now. She's much happier. Probably next up, because I'm gonna, not today, but Betty, my daily driver, desperately needs a bath. And you know, I used to go to the quarter wash and throw a whole bunch of money literally down the drain, washing up that truck. And I found that washing it here in my driveway with Dawn dish soap gives me just as good of results as like using all the fancy stuff at the coin-op car wash. So yeah, I'm lucky I have really, really soft water here. But yeah, regular old Dawn dish soap scrub-a-dub on my truck, and it looks just as better than what I would get at the quarter wash. Use a Dakota Mini on the car. Yeah, exactly. And you can take that same Dakota Mini and put it on a big block Mopar. Solenoid connection is the difference in Mopar starters. Yep. The drive shaft and the header is in just the right spot where you can't readily get at what you need to get at. And I ended up having to hug the header and the drive shaft to get anything done, and had both my hands up over. Yeah, it was interesting. I loved my Mopar today and yesterday, but it wasn't that bad. I've definitely done worse starters, like big block Mopar starter with headers on. You have to take the header off while you take the starter off, because one won't come out with the other. Yay. But the mini starters do help for that same reason, because it's just dimensionally smaller. And besides, those style starters is a Dodge signature. One guy I knew who wasn't hardly a gearhead, he would always say Dodge in reference to the Dodge starter. He didn't even. I said why that's funny, and he goes, "Oh, it's just how I heard it." Yeah, it's because they're making fun of Dodge starters. They have a sound all their own. Man, this guy's got this good looking bike here next to me. Yeah, once we had the old starter out, we tried to bench test it, and she wouldn't even turn. She was done. As a matter of fact, I could shake it, and you could hear stuff inside clunk around, and it wasn't the gear moving. It's like I don't think it's supposed to make that noise. And I could definitely tell that the one that I got was made with much cheaper materials. Had a jacketed aluminum wire running from the solenoid to the drive motor, and the old one had a copper braided line that made that same connection. Oh, and I had to change a power steer cooler a while back. Went to the U-Pull-It yard and spent $25 and bought a nice one and swapped it out. That actually wasn't too bad of a job. I hit a deer a few years ago, and it bent the radiator, bent the cooler, power steer cooler, and it bent the oil cooler. Oil cooler and the radiator still don't leak, and they're pushed in. But that power steer cooler finally gave up the ghost. So that was an easy fix. And then I think I got like 1,800 miles and due for an oil change. I've been taking lately quart of oil. I will drain the oil, then I'll take a quart of oil and I'll dump it down the engine with the drain plug out to let it flush out more of the goop that collects there at the bottom of the pan in hopes to get just a little bit more garbage out. And I'm kind of on the fence on the idea. What do you guys think? Would you dump an extra quart of oil down it to flush the pan, or just drain it real good and call it a day? I gave it a try a couple times, and hi, Justin. Nice to see you. Idaho, huh? Well, I like potatoes. Amazon's out today. It's almost 7 o'clock and Amazon's out on Mother's Day. Isn't that sad? Mom doesn't even get take a break for business from Amazon. Well, it is almost 3.5 hours of a fun live stream. We got a lot done today. We got the bike fire. We fired the bike up after a longer sit. Gave her some hoobahs for everyone. Got her clean. Got her waxed up. And she's a jewel now, ain't she? So I would like to thank everyone for coming out, hanging out, and having a bunch of fun with me. And then come see me tomorrow at 8 p.m. Michigan time, and we'll do this thing all over again. So until then, bye everybody.